a good day.
Thank you so much. John and Julie, wonderful. Thank you so much. And
Thanks for having us.
We got a couple of great speakers left too. The next lady I'm going to introduce with Keith's help, of course, is a lady that I've only known for a short time, but I knew of her dad for the last 30 years that I've been in the direct selling field. Legendary family that she's from, but on her own, here's a few of her credentials. This is my friend, Dr. Tracey Jones, that you're going to meet. First of all, she's a graduate of the United States Air Force Academy, which is no short measure in itself. Just to get into an academy, you have to be extremely smart, extremely athletic, and extremely elite. Not only get there, but also to graduate with honors, certainly. Secondly, she was a major in the United States Air Force for some 12 years, served her country very well, needless to say, been all over the world. She's the daughter of Charlie Tremendous Jones. And if you're not familiar with Charlie Tremendous Jones, you should be, and you want to be. Charlie was one of the people that really created the self-development movement, bringing the great books and the great works of many authors to the market. Books like As a Man Thinketh, for example, the second book I ever read on self-development, as one example. Things from Think and Grow Rich, things from The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace T. Wattles, and on and on and on. And some years ago, when her dad was ill and ultimately passed away, he asked her to step into the leadership of the company that he built. And she wasn't prepared for it, but she is more than prepared for it today. She went back to work on herself and got new skills, despite the skills that she already had in leadership development via the United States Air Force, etc. So phenomenal, phenomenal person that you're going to meet here. Female president of her own company, ladies. So another, great leader in the female community. Certainly. And Keith, I know you and Tracey have been friends for a number of years, so you may want to add to that. And then Tracey, take it away after Keith's done.
Well, Tracey, I don't want to take any time here. It's just, you are continuing that legacy of your father. And, with the round table of speakers, with all those that were there, he was such a tremendous man, and you were such a tremendous daughter. So it's an honor to have you with us here today, Tracey.
Oh, thank you so much, Keith. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's been a real joy as somebody who reclaimed my health about a year and a half ago. It's just really exciting. I've been listening pretty much to all the speakers, and just really exciting, especially in light of what's going on with world events. We don't have to be reactive. We can be proactive with a lot of this stuff. And in fact, the doctors are now saying that there's a certain blood type that will make you more immune to the coronavirus. And that is the blood type B positive, all right? And the one that'll make you worse is definitely B negative. So John had talked about my father's book, Life is Tremendous, and the tagline to that book is, enthusiasm makes a difference. And many people are out there at this day on March 28th of 2020 saying, you know what, my life is not really very tremendous. And the key is in the tagline that no matter what externally happens to us, all we can control is how we respond to it. And I know that you guys have heard this before, but I'm going to tell you a little story that kind of illustrates that. So there was this guy that was out of work, and he desperately needed a job. And he looked at the want ads, and indeed on LinkedIn, and he found that there was an opening at the local zoo. So he was really desperate. He didn't really know about doing anything at the zoo, but he went down to the zoo and he applied for the job. And the zookeeper said, okay, well, times are tough here at the zoo. They're tough all over. What we need you to do is this. Our gorilla recently passed away, and that gorilla was a big draw for the zoo. So what we need to do, if you're willing to do it, is to put on this monkey suit, go out there in the gorilla cage, and pretend like the gorilla is still here. Well, the guy thinks to himself, I have no training in this. This isn't what I went to school for. I don't know what it's going to be, but he just said I will. So he puts on the monkey suit and he goes out there and he's kind of hanging out in the cage, kind of walking around, people walking around looking at him, and he thinks to himself, you know what? If I'm going to sign this job, I got to put my heart into it. So he starts jumping around, and he notices that the more animated and enthusiastic he gets, the more people he draws to see his antics. So he tries more and more things. He gets more and more confident. People are showing up in masses. They're throwing bananas. They're showing peanuts. And all of a sudden he realized that up in his cage, there's a big trapeze hanging up there. And he thinks, I can do this. So he gets up there and he starts swinging back and forth on the trapeze. Well, the higher he goes, the more crazy the fans go. Well, one day he gets to swinging so high that he flies up at the top of the gorilla pit and lands right smack in the middle of the lion's den. And he gets up and he looks around and he sees these lions charging, running towards him. And he starts screaming, help, help, somebody save me. And just then one of the lions jumps on him, grabs him by the throat and says, you better shut up or we're all going to get fired. So I adore that joke because I tell people, you know what? Today is not where I thought I'd be in this world. But you know what? You better shut up or we're all going to get fired, all right? It's what we bring to the thing. And, you know, looking at this coronavirus, this epidemic, I just got my PhD in leadership, okay? As John said, you know, we have to constantly be evolving not only physically and socially and spiritually, but also cognitively. And that's why we have this call, so we can learn new ways of approaching people, new ways of building our business. And in my research, I interviewed 2 financial institutions that were going through a merger. And it went south. In the end, it pulled out and it happened. But I went and I talked to them. And I noticed there were 2 kinds of people, all right? Those that were kind of, I call them SOBs, self-oriented behaviors, okay? They were all about themselves and they were scared to let go and change. And then there were the people that were the big picture people that were like, you know what? It's a merger in the big scheme of things. So they almost had this view of something bigger than themselves, which is something that I have heard throughout the couple hours that I've been listening on this call. This is not about, yes, the residual streams of income is phenomenal. And the fact that I have them is the fact that my life now is pretty much as good or better than what it was last month, okay? But there's more to it than that, and that is you guys are talking about helping people achieve a healthier, more robust, more vibrant lifestyle. And I could tell when I would interview these people within 5 seconds if they were on the self-oriented side or the big picture side. Okay. Now there's an article, and since you guys are a lot of you talking about supplements that improve our physical condition or in the medical field, there's an article that came out in about 2005 by a gentleman called Alan Deutschman, and it's called Change or Die. And if you Google it, it's on Fast Company, and I read it as part of my doctoral studies. But what it was a medical study. This guy was at a medical conference, and what he heard was 80% of the hospital medical issues, the costs are charged by, are incurred by 20% of the people. And out of that, the majority of them are lifestyle illnesses, overeating, drugs, drinking, stress. We know this, okay? The one thing that I hope that comes from this great pandemic is people start taking more ownership of their health, because the stronger you can build your immune health, the better a defense it's going to be, okay? So in this article, they interviewed people that were told you're going to have a major cardiac bypass surgery. And they also told them, if you don't change your sinful ways, in 2 years, you're probably going to die. So here's your options, change or die. And out of 10 people, guess how many were unwilling to change? 9. Okay, so that should really show you what is going on with people. Okay, why are people so resistant to change? And if you really look at the literature on leadership and what motivates people to change. And my father used to tell me, Tracy, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But you can put salt in his oats and make him thirsty, okay? And what I'm hearing you guys talk about today is how you motivate people intrinsically to come on board. So what they're saying about this thing with this change or die thing is that fear and force don't motivate people to change. And so you're going to go out and you're going to see some people that may be more open to talking to you because they're scared to death. They have that scarcity mentality of their wealth. If they come on board now, they probably will not be around, because when the markets start going back up and their regular job kicks in, they're going to be like, well, I don't need this anymore, okay? So what you really want to do, the real reason people change is because they connect with you on the heart level, all right? And there has to be a compelling case, and there's 2 sides to this. There's 2 main reasons why people are going to look at your product and come on your team. And this can be used for any change in life. And the first is that they have to see value in it. Okay, they have to see value in it for them. Like, I have a lot of people that contact me about different products, investment portfolio, this, that, the other thing. But if I don't have a need for it, I'll say, hey, thanks, but no matter how compelling your pitch is, I'm comfortable. I've got this area covered. All right. But there are so many people out there now that are open to hearing about the benefits of supplements and what they can do to boost their immune system. So first of all, they have to see the value in what you're offering them. Okay. And if they don't see it, no matter how many times you give them a touch point, no matter what kind of a pitch, no matter how bad it gets, you're not going to come off dead center and come out of their comfort zone, even if it causes them a great deal of pain. You want them to pivot with purpose. So if they see that there is true value in your product for them, intrinsically something inside of them is going to make them go, you know what? I want to be singularly focused on my health, and I want to purchase Immunical, and I want to start taking it. So there you get them dialed in. The next thing after that that's going to motivate them, once you get them on their team, they're going to have to be persistent. They're going to have to keep taking the product. We've all known people that have gone on diets. You know, they were at the gym one January, and by May, they put on more weight than they lost the whole first half of the year. So it's persistence. My father used to tell me, Tracy, nothing works unless you work it, okay? Mr. Garcia, Common Denominator Success, all these great personal self-help development things are all about the fact that you need to know all about your habits. Habits are what make you successful. And there John has some of the books that we're going to talk about, the little bundle after there. But Mr. Garcia, as man thing, it's all about your habits. So once the person that you talk to sees the value in it and they understand, hey, this is something that if I work this plan, this can be a great benefit to me economically. And, you know, you don't just want to, and I hear everybody on here saying this, and I'm so thankful to that. You don't want to pitch. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. I mean, I can remember when people would talk about telling people, oh, you want to join the military so you can see the world. And I'm like, don't you say that. That is, you may see the world. You also might lose your life in the process. So you want people to come on board. You want to be honest with them. This can work for you. You can really robust and build a steady stream of income, but it's going to take work. All good things do. But the more you put into it, the difference thing with sales and direct marketing, as my father always told me, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. You create your own destiny, as opposed to so many of my friends now in different industries that are still working for somebody else, and now they're having to deal with the stress of it. And my father always told me that, Tracy, you have two choices in life. You can work for yourself or you can work for somebody else. But as long as you work for somebody else, you're always going to have to deal with the calamities that may happen, like what's going on now. And I'll tell you what, I've been an entrepreneur for 12 years. I was in industry, the Air Force. I was in every bureaucracy known to mankind. And I finally said, I can't take it. I got to do my own thing. I got to step up and own what is intrinsically inside of me. And it's a different level of stress. But I would much rather take this level of stress than the old kind of stress that I used to be under, where I was working for somebody else, where I would either ethically not agree with them, or they allowed things to go on, or they didn't reward the people that really put the most in. All right. So people are going to change because they have an emotional connection with you. They value you. I love the science behind your product. That is going to make sense to the analytical people. And then the fact that people have actually been cured. So the second thing after seeing value is, they have to have a reasonable expectation of success, all right? And this is where we do the extrinsic parts, the external parts, the coaching, the calls like this. I hear you guys talking about get Keith and John on a call. All this different network of people. People need advocates. They need advocates that tell them that, you know what, it's tough, but you can do this. They need advocates. They need the means, the resources, the training, the connections, the networking. And lastly, they need the knowledge. They need to continually be improving their learning base and learning new ways to grow their business, learning new things about the product. That's why it's so awesome you guys have these meetings where you're talking all the time, because nothing stays the same. Boy, if the past events of the last 3 weeks haven't taught us that, I don't know when we're going to learn it. But the reality is, a lot of times people don't get out of their comfort zone until a crisis hits. All right. So this is a wonderful opportunity for you to come into people, help people economically, physically, from a collective standpoint, because you guys are all still collective. Even though we're isolated, you guys are still getting everybody together. Our bodies may be physically distant, but man, mentally, spiritually, collectively, we are all still very much in the game. And so just as you're going through this and talking with people and realizing so much of this is going to deal on the personal level and the emotional connection. when I was halfway through my dissertation, I'm going to wrap this up real quick. After talking to people, I said to myself, dear Lord, you know what? There really is no such thing as leadership. It's all personality. And you know what? There's a lot of truth to that. Now, does that mean we shouldn't have strategy and goals and processes? No, we absolutely need that inherent structure to grow our business. But understand, you've got two camps of people, the SOBs and the ones that will accept change. And if people have that resiliency, in leadership literature, they call it an adaptive capacity or a regenerative nature. Psychologists call it extroversion. It's like when the going gets tough, like an extra version of yourself comes out. All right, it's that that mojo, that grit, that veritas that people bring into a room. You know, some people brighten a room when they enter it. Other people when they leave it. Okay, these are the people that you want on your team. And then the flip side of that, and I say this to you because I don't want you to waste time trying to woo people that just will not let go of the negativity, the SOBs, the self-oriented behaviors. And that's neuroticism. That is stinking thinking, okay? That is ruminating, fixating. And that's why we're really dealing with people. Turn off the news. On our website, we've been giving away free books, okay? The worst thing you can possibly do during this quarantine is sit there and engage in this negativity or the lack of truth or just get spun up about stuff. So as you're growing your team, look for those people that have that spark inside of them that's just waiting for an opportunity to be awakened, and then you come alongside and provide them the resources. And the people that are going to be on the neurotic, the negativity side, you know, maybe they'll change, maybe they won't. Maybe it'll be the next crisis, or maybe they'll just go through the life the way they are. But I hope it gave you some food for thought about just how people's brains operates and what makes them want to change. And I wish you great success in this. It's been so exciting just getting to meet John and Keith and hear you guys' stories. Very encouraging to me.
Well, Tracey, we want to make sure that you share a little bit about the book offer that you've done with John and the team, the John team.
Absolutely. We had the tremendous blessing of publishing John's Moving Up 2020, the 3rd edition. So that is out. It's out in Spanish too, and it's out where you can order and it can get shipped all over the globe too, which is really important because some places now, especially with logistics, it's getting tougher and tougher. But right now we have a book sale where if you go to our website on Tremendous Leadership and you get Moving Up, As a Man Thinketh, Message of Garcia, and Acres of Diamond, all 4 of them together for $14.99. And we have them in stock. We can ship them to you in the U.S. right away. And for our customers that are overseas, if you just want to send us an email, we can go ahead and get your information about where to ship and get you a shipping cost. But I mean, take this time and you know what? Get that brain, because we are going to come out of this stronger. And so recreate your new normal. Do it now. And this is a wonderful opportunity to do that.
So they visit tremendousleadership.com or
Correct.
they follow the link that's
Yep.
also got posted here, but tremendousleadership.com, and they can put in John Sollder's name as a author, and it'll pull up the package and the books and follow the link that we've got posted here. So thank you, Tracey. And it is obvious that the fruit does not fall far from the tree.
Oh, thank you, Keith. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, you guys.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Sollder, you're back.
I just want to make one quick comment. Thank you so much, Tracey. Thank you, everybody. We're almost done. We got one really special speaker, though, so you don't go home yet. Well, you are home. Don't go out yet. You can't go out anyway. But before I introduce her, I just want to reference one thing. You know, when we picked the books to go along with this, As a Man Thinketh was the second book I ever read on self-development. The first was by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. And this was when I was in the hospital at 17 years old, 80% paralyzed, okay? And when I read As a Man Thinketh in conjunction with Dr. Peale's book, The Power of Positive Thinking, is when I decided that I was going to live my life. I gave up alcohol. I got an education. I went to college. And then I eventually built some pretty good companies and made an impact. So, you know, what's the power of reading? The power of reading is to get your head straight. Right now, we're all home. We're stuck. You can't go anywhere. Read and grow rich, gang. Read and grow your life. Read and grow your business. Read and grow your Immunotech distributorship. Put it in whatever terminology you want to put it in. Reading is what smart people do. Jim Rohn another guy I have tremendous rapport with, Jim always said, when you're gone, like he is today, your library is what your kids are going to inherit, not your TV set. Turn the TV off. The news is bad. Read and get ready for the explosion that's going to happen in your business and, more importantly, in your life going forward. With that, I want to introduce our last speaker this afternoon, a young